sometimes we get fixated in those little details that prevents us from moving forward and executing. So after Pablo, we're like, okay, guys, let's go big. Let's actually interview our coach. Steve, he makes, he made more than $1 million in one day. And we're like, what a good way to actually, continue on our interviews. And that brought the pressure on because these guys have been on hundreds and hundreds of interviews. So that day, our content evolved a little bit more. We were like, how can we bring the experience to him? How can we show that this is actually a stage for our guests? This is the first time that we're trying this. And what happened, Fonzie? Like, what did you come up with?
Well, we decided to make a little intro, Bizbro style. And we're like, you know what? Like, every podcast that I've ever listened to, they always introduce the guests in the same way. They're always, I mean, which is, I'm not saying is wrong or bad, but they always just pretty much say the name of the guest at once, and then they just say the facts and like things that they have accomplished, which again is not wrong. It's okay, it's good. But we asked ourselves, how can we be different? Because that's the key question right there, right? Like, and we've talked about this, right? You don't need to be better. You just need to be different. Once people go your way, then you can prove them that you're better. But at first, people want to see what's different. So that was the question we were asking ourselves. And, we were just pondering in that question that day, hands on the keyboard. And we just started typing, how did we meet Steven? And then we started, what does Steven do? Okay, what is the perception that we have about Steven, right? And we started answering these questions and putting a little spin to it, making it a little bit entertaining as we could. And at the same time, without revealing who the guest was, right? So at the end, what we had, it was pretty much something that looked like someone introducing someone that was about to go speak in a real life stage. And then we were like, okay, like, this is fun, this is cool, but how can we take it to the next level, right? And I remember that we were at Funnel Hacking Live on January, and we heard Russell. He had his awesome song when he would come on stage. And then we heard Steve's, and his song was the same one. And we were like, dude, like, that song is actually pretty cool. Like, it has a really nice beat. So we actually got our phone, we Shazam it, and we discovered what the song was. And I remember I took a screenshot and I left it there. Totally forgot. Well, when we're writing Steve's intro, I was like, what if we actually use the song that they used to bring him on stage? And I was like, oh, I think I know the song. I have it in a screenshot in my phone. So we went back, we looked it up. We got the song, we bought it, we chopped the same part that he uses. And he had no idea about this. We were like, hey, Steve, we're going to have a little surprise for you. We're about to bring you on the podcast. And honestly, but his reaction was so reassuring. It was like we tapped into something. We just came across something that was like, okay, this is us, And again, like, we were pretty lucky. I think that we found it pretty early in our podcast. I don't think everybody's going to have the opportunity. But again, if you don't ask the right questions, you're not going to have the right answers, right? And we were asking the question, how can we do it different than other people? How can we make this an experience for our guest? And the answer showed up. We implemented it. We're like, what's the worst that can happen, right? The worst that can happen is like, he doesn't like it, he signs off, and then there's no interview. And we're like, oh, well, I mean, that would be pretty bad, but we thought he's going to do that. And then, we went with it. And it was, I mean, his reaction was mind-blowing. I'm at a friend's house right now, and I was showing him that video. I'm like, dude, I was actually talking about this whole intros, and I show him the video, and look at Steve's face and saying that was the best intro he's ever had in his podcast. I was like, this is it, like, it's so reassuring, and it was awesome.